Hey, thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to talk about, is Melchizedek's priesthood the priesthood of the commands? There is a teaching in the book of Hebrews that refers to an order or a priesthood of Melchizedek. And this is rooted in a passage that is in Genesis about this figure named Melchizedek. And it is also based upon a verse in a psalm which was included in the Tanakh in the Old Testament, a psalm that refers to a priest according to Melchizedek. And something that I want us to be considering as we look into these issues is whether Melchizedek's priesthood is the priesthood of the commands. What do the commands of the law say regarding the priesthood and regarding Melchizedek? So starting with this psalm that was included, Psalm 110, verse 4, it refers to Elohim having sworn and not repenting on, "You are priest for Olam," on word of Melchizedek. Something I want to clarify here on this "on word" is that this doesn't necessarily refer to Melchizedek's word in the sense of him saying something. It may refer to the matter of Melchizedek. So this is why we might see the order of Melchizedek, even though that's not literally what it is. It could refer to the issue or the matter of Melchizedek. So according to this psalm, we see reference to a priest for Olam on word or on the matter of Melchizedek. And this name, Melchizedek, appears one other time as such in the book of Genesis. In Genesis chapter 14, there was a war that took place, and Avram or Abraham became involved in this battle. And at the end of it, there was this figure named Melchizedek, said to be king of Shalem. And it says that he was the priest to ascended El. And he brought forth bread and wine. They had this celebration. There was this distribution of the loot, including the distribution of a tenth of it. And something to note is it says that he was a priest to ascended El. This is a title that Avram uses to refer to the true Elohim elsewhere in this same chapter. And it says that this priest, Melchizedek, that he knelt to or blessed Avram. So if we read over Genesis chapter 14, we see that there was this war and this battle that Avram was involved with. And at the conclusion of this battle, the kings were coming out. There was this distribution of the loot, and there was this celebration. And among the kings was the king of Shalem, whose name was supposed to be Melchizedek. And we see that he was also supposed to be a priest to the ascended El. This is a title that Avram uses later on in the passage to refer to his Elohim. And so Melchizedek is kind of an interesting figure because he is such an obscure figure, because this is the extent of the references that we have to him. This is the only time that he is mentioned in the Tanakh apart from that psalm that refers to him. And so because he's such an obscure figure, because he's referred to as a priest and because of his connection with Avram, we have the potential to come up with teachings based upon it, to come up with speculations about, well, who might this person have been? Is there some significance or connection to him apart from what went on obviously in this passage? And as a result, apparently, we did have some sort of conclusion of that sort in Psalm 110, verse 4. That there is this reference back to the priest of Melchizedek. So let's consider what we are working with regard to this priesthood of Melchizedek. We have this passage in Genesis, this passage regarding this war and the kings coming out, and one of the kings being Melchizedek. And we have this psalm that was included in the Tanakh that refers to the priest of Melchizedek. This is what we are working with, and I want us to return to that original question about whether Melchizedek's priesthood is the priesthood of the commands. In order for a priesthood to be a priesthood of the commands, there must be a command about it. And what we are working with is a story in Genesis and a psalm. What do the commands given in the hand of Moses, which is how the Torah is described, the commands delivered through the hand of Moses, what do they say regarding the priesthood? We see in Exodus 29, verse 9, "And you shall gird them with the sash, Aaron and his sons, and you shall bind for them the caps, and priesthood shall be for them for an enactment of olam, and you shall fill the hand of Aaron and the hand of his sons." In these passages in Exodus, the holy place, the tent of meeting, the tabernacle is being constructed, and part of the commands involving the tabernacle include the holy clothes, the clothes of the priesthood. And Aaron and his sons are commanded to be dressed in them. And it says that the priesthood shall be for them for an enactment of olam. And their hand is being filled. They are being consecrated for that priestly role. So we have a command in the law. We have a command that was delivered through Moses regarding the priesthood. And it refers to Aaron and his sons being the priests. So we have, thus far, we don't have any commands referring to Melchizedek, but we have commands referring to Aaron. Next we have Exodus 40, 13 through 15. "And you shall cause to dress Aaron with the holy clothes, and you shall anoint him, and you shall hallow him, and he shall act as priest to me. And you shall bring near his sons, and you shall cause to dress them in tunics, and you shall anoint them as you anointed their father, and they shall act as priests to me. And it shall be their anointing, to be to them for a priesthood of olam, for their generations." Similar to what we saw before, Aaron and his sons are being dressed in the holy clothes. They are being anointed. They are being hallowed or made holy. They are being hallowed to act as priest to Elohim. They are being anointed to be his priests, and it is their anointing to be to them for a priesthood of olam for their generations. The generations of Aaron continue, and it is to be their priesthood for olam for their generations. And we might also consider Numbers 3:10. "And you shall notice Aaron and his sons, and they shall guard their priesthood. And the alien, the one nearing, shall be caused to die." The priesthood of Aaron and his sons is being guarded. And it says that the alien that is nearing, is being caused to die. So we have that Aaron and his sons are being anointed. They are being consecrated to serve as priests. And also that they are guarding their priesthood. We can see that the priesthood of Aaron is referred to in the commands. That part of the law is the priesthood of Aaron. Now, we might wonder, what if there is some other priesthood that comes along to take its place? There actually was an incident that took place in the narrative of the Torah similar to this. We can see it in the rebellion of Korah in Numbers 16. Whenever this starts to take place, Moses responds and says, "Morning and Yahuwah makes known who belongs to him and is the Holy One, and he shall bring near to him. And which he shall choose in him, he shall bring near to him." So Moses arranges for this test. And in the morning, Elohim is going to make known who it is that belongs to Elohim, who is the Holy One, who is chosen. And Elohim is going to choose who is to be serving for him. And as a result, we see there is this series of punishments that come upon them. There is utter destruction that is brought upon the rebellion and is brought upon the congregation. And at the conclusion of it, there is this command that we see, because in the process of this test, the congregation of Korach brought forth these fire pans that they were offering incense before Elohim in. And in the process, they presented these fire pans before Elohim. And so whenever they were destroyed, they had these fire pans. And there was this command that because these fire pans were hallowed, because they were brought before Elohim, that they weren't just going to discard them, that there was a command of what to do with them. Fire pans of these ones doing wrong in their vitalities, and they shall make them stampings of foils of overlay for altar. For they brought them near before Yahuwah, and they were hallowed, and they were for a sign to sons of Israel. So these fire pans of the congregation, the ones doing wrong in their vitalities or in their souls, the ones that violated what had been commanded, they are making these fire pans into a stamped overlay for the altar. They are being put upon the altar, and it says that they are to be a sign to these sons of Israel. Now, what are they going to be a sign of? The passage continues, memorial to sons of Israel, to purpose of which man shall not near, alien, he who is not from seed of Aaron, to burn incense before Yahuwah, and he shall not be as Korach and as his congregation, as which Yahuwah spoke in hand of Moses to him. This overlay on the altar is to be a sign. It is to be something that the sons of Israel see. It is a memorial. And what is the purpose of this sign, of this memorial? It says that so a man shall not near that is an alien, a man that is not from the seed of Aaron, to burn incense before Yahuwah. Part of the commands of the priesthood, one of the regular rituals of the priest, is to burn the incense before Yahuwah. So what do we have in the commands here? That there is to be a sign that no such thing takes place, that someone that is not from the priesthood of Aaron, that they shall do no such thing, that there shall not be anyone that is not from the seed of Aaron burning incense, performing one of the important priestly rituals. It is prohibited by the law for there to be a priesthood apart from Aaron that is doing those rituals, the commanded rituals of the priesthood. According to the commands, only Aaron's priesthood is authorized to fill that role. Only the priesthood of Aaron qualifies as the priesthood of the commands. And we even see that this is to persist. It says in Deuteronomy 18:5, for in him Yahuwah your Elohim chose from all of your tribes to stand to minister in name of Yahuwah, he and his sons, all of the days. If we are concerned with the commands, and we are concerned with what the commands say, the commands only authorize one priesthood. That according to the commands, only Aaron and his seed are authorized to perform that role, to do the rituals that the priests are commanded to do. This is only through Aaron. So we do not have any commands in the law that authorize this Melchizedek priesthood. Instead, we have many commands that authorize the priesthood of Aaron and that say that no other person is to fill that role, that only Aaron and his seed are authorized to do that. The rest of the people are to not near, that Aaron's priesthood is to be guarded, and it is for all of the days, the Levitical priesthood through Aaron. Now, we might have believed that there is some way to reconcile this, that maybe there is a way that Hebrews can still be right, that there could be this Melchizedek priesthood that somehow would not contradict the Torah. One issue with this is that if we say that there is this crossover, that there is this Melchizedek priest who is also of the seed of Aaron, so it's not necessarily violating these commands about the seed of Aaron only being allowed to do this. The problem with that is that's not even according to what Hebrews says. Hebrews argues that this is a whole new priesthood, that the priesthood of Aaron is being supplanted, that it is being done away with and changed. If it was just supposed to be the same priesthood, if it was to be a priest through Aaron, then there would be no reason to say that the priesthood is changed. So that does not even fit with the teachings of Hebrews. And the fact is that the book of Hebrews does not fit with the teachings of the Torah. It does not fit with what the commands say. The commands only authorize one priesthood. The priesthood of the commands is the seed of Aaron. Thanks for watching, and remember the commands. Shalom.